Yeah, so this is a great idea. Put a 51-year-old man in direct sunlight and record him in high definition. Great plan. Anyway, let's talk about how I record in high definition. What gear does Brian take on these trips? Well, in the past when I've done international travel, I've usually focused on photography and not video as much. So my suite of crap I take is usually some kind of good fixed photo camera, something that is specialized in shooting video and is compact, and a phone, which does both okay, I guess. My normal daily driver for a phone is a Samsung S10e, and it's got a great camera on it. For this trip, I'm not carrying that because it's a work-issued phone. I've got a Moto G31 that I bought refurbed because it's dual SIM. It's like $120, fully unlocked. It's fine. It's like a 2-year-old phone, so the Android version is only 11, and the camera it's got 3 lenses, but it ain't no Samsung or Apple. But it does what I need, which is allows me to connect to the internet and keep up with friends and stuff while I'm wandering around foreign country. Plus, I can use like a 500 NT card I buy at the airport for a week's worth of unlimited 4G. So that'll do. Video compact. Since I normally don't prioritize video on my international travels, I pull out what I use to shoot a lot of the stuff in nerdsteading, which is the DJI Osmo Pocket 2, and I've also got the original DJI Osmo Pocket. Those are both my kind of preferred. I want to do run and gun video. The advantage of these is DJI is primarily a drone company, so this head is stabilized. Let me go ahead and put this on. Right, so you get robo-stabilized camera action. So a lot of times when you see me walking around full face selfie kind of stuff, or just anything that's moving, it looks like it's got a decent amount of stabilization to it naturally, like say going up the steps at CKS Memorial Hall here in Taipei. That's what I'm using. My past photography stuff, so a lot of the shots, like when I was here shooting, not on purpose shooting the parade, but I was on a business trip years ago, and I happened across, like literally kind of tripped and fell across a couple of cool parades. One of them was the Dream Parade, and the other one was the Taipei Gay Pride Parade. Both glorious things, got some great photos on that. I was shooting a Canon 80D, which can do video, but it's not its primary function. I've been thinking about getting something that'll do higher bitrate video. I shoot a lot of 4K stuff on some old Panasonic camcorders. When I was still wanting to do this whole show, I was thinking about making called the Maker's Forge. I'll get to that one in a later video. I made a fairly compact video setup that was a couple of those Panasonic 4K camcorders. And those are from like 2016, 2017, I think. They're still fine. It's just the bit rate's a little low, and they don't shoot F-Log, the video that I'm shooting now, which is a lot easier to color correct. That's actually one of the advantages of the Osmo Pocket 2 is I can shoot F-Log as well, which makes it easier for me to match up shots from this camera and use that as essentially a B-roll camera. And if you're not familiar with F-Log, it's essentially a flat video color profile. And then you use these things called Lookup Tables or LUTs to get your sort of preferred look. So you can kind of rotate through a couple of color grading presets or create your own if you're a colorist, which I am not. So I'm relying on a lot of LUTs that I've downloaded. If you see shows like, say, Battlestar Galactica that have like a very specific look for each planet or each environment, they were normally shooting in a flat format and then had a Caprica F-Log, Galactica F-Log, you know, one for every kind of environment to give them the starting point of what the color should look like. So what I'm carrying around now is my primary photography camera, and this trip was just an excuse to buy new gear, is the Fuji XS20, which is their new, if you've seen like the XT3, XT4, XT5, those sort of hipster-looking brownie cameras that have like great sensors and autofocus, or their XHS series, those are the kind of cameras we're talking about. The XS20 is really the compromise camera. It will do both video well and photos well. It doesn't have the big sensor of the XH series, but I don't want that because it actually is not the best for video, and I don't need, like, 26 megapixels is fine. I want the autofocus, I want the f-log, I want the size of the camera. It's a lot smaller than my Canon, and it's got a more open lens system than the newer Canon R series. Audio, I've got these cool microphones. I've got a couple of different brands of these. This, I don't even remember the brand name of this, Hollyland. This is a Hollyland set that was on sale. You can hear law enforcement and or healthcare happening in the background along with the fountains. These are basically, there's a couple of more popular brands of these 2.4 gigahertz wireless mics. This is the knockoff version of that. They're like 120 to 160 bucks depending on how Amazon's feeling that day. And I've got one of those and then another brand of those at home. They're fairly simple 1/8 inch outputs, and they've got USB-C turnaround cables so you can plug them into stuff like the Osmo Pocket or into the mic jack on the Fuji. They're extremely light, battery powered, recharge over USB-C. In fact, almost everything in my kit now recharges over USB-C, including this Fuji. And cool thing, the accessory batteries, if you get a no-name accessory battery for the Fuji, rather than having a separate charger, they just put a USB-C port in it, and you charge the battery directly off the same thing you charge the camera and the phone. Unfortunately, CKS Memorial Hall is one of literally the hottest places in Taipei. The whole thing is white marble. I'm sweating up a storm, but I'm still having a great time on the trip. So glad I got to nerd out on some gear with y'all. I'm going to go into the XS20 in a lot more detail when I talk about my trip to Tainan. And I think if I have a YouTube channel and I own an XS20 and don't review it, I'm legally obligated under some sort of treaty with Best Buy and Paltatech to talk about it, or I might lose my channel. So watch that coming up soon. Anyway, it's Brian signing off from Taipei. Stay subscribed to the August Diaries. I'm going to sit down with some more 7-Eleven beverages and edit a few more of these things so you get to see more of this hot yet wonderfully beautiful country. Thanks a lot.